I am Aggie K, Wealth Therapist. If you're just hopping on, welcome to the broadcast. I have the amazing Amy Wall here from Love Amy, loveamyskin.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Amy. How are you?
I am so good, and I am thrilled to be here. And yeah, thank you for having me.
So welcome. So guys, today we are talking about product-based. Amy has a product-based business. So first, let me allow you to introduce yourself and tell the crowd a little bit about you and your business and what you do.
Okay, great. So as you said, I'm Amy Wall, and my business is Love Amy Signature Skincare. And I primarily work with business women and really all women of all ages, but specifically business women who want to experience feeling beautiful, have more radiant skin, and really start loving who they see in the mirror so that they can go out and do their great work in the world. And the way that I get up the mountain is with skincare products and a beauty mindset.
I love it. So this is an important conversation. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Sam. Thanks for joining us. Because we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about like having a product-based business and all the stuff that you offer that is a little bit of a different mindset from the coaching part of the business. But mindset and beauty, this is an important conversation, guys. You'll hear all the, mindset coaches, all the laptop lifestyle ladies talking about investing lots in how they look, in their clothes, in their skin, in their hair. And why does it matter? Like, who cares? Why is that important?
Well, it's important on a lot of different levels. At a very macro level, it's just important that we feel comfortable in our own skin. And when we do, we're able to be more visible. And in this modern day of media.
Time out. 1 second.
Yeah.
This is about feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
For you to be visible as an entrepreneur, as an actor, as a real estate agent, as a whatever kind of industry you are in, you have to feel good in your own skin.
Just here.
Huge.
Okay, and our work is done.
Okay, bye everybody. That's it. Just think about that, and that's it. And this is a huge piece, right? It's a huge piece because if you feel good, it's going to be a lot easier to get on the live stream, to get on your Instagram, to post stuff because you're not like, and that's not about necessarily always being done up. It's about feeling good in your skin. So what does that mean to you? How do you define feeling good in your skin?
Well, I want to just get right to the point with something, and that is feeling good in my skin to me is really feeling comfortable with who I am and really what I look like and how I want to look like and how I want to portray myself for me and defining that authenticity for me. I think I want to go back a little bit, and that is that women have been sold a bill of goods from the mainstream media. It's starting to break, I would say, the last 5 years, and with the Me Too movement, and just had International Women's Day, we're starting to kind of wake up and go, newsflash, we're viable past baby making age. I did not know, and we've been sold this bill of goods that we have to be beautiful so, we can get married, so we can have babies, so we can compete with men. Pardon me I guess we're just going to ignore that live video. I'm just going to try to turn it off, and then I have to get in. So defining how you feel comfortable in your own skin just starts with you have to define it for yourself. And one of the most powerful ways that you can do that is to really start feeling comfortable with looking at yourself in the mirror and just, connecting with yourself. It's not about how everybody else is going to see you. It's about how you see yourself.
Huge. Love that. Guys, take note of that. Spend some time in the mirror.
You said you brought that up into one of your posts the other day, and I was so happy to see that, because who out there in the audience, if anybody wants to make a comment, who actually gazes at themselves in the eyes, a la Louise Hay? You know, who does that? Is anybody really doing
like picking a zit or you know, this should be like this and this should be like that? When are you just gazing at yourself? Let's practice now.
Yeah, I mean,
just staring in your own eyeballs.
Right. So when you put your skincare on, then this is my method, is that when I put my skincare on, that is my mini meditation. If I can't make it to the gym, if I can't get on the meditation mat, if I can't get on the yoga mat, at least when I put on my skincare products, there's going to be a deep breath. There's going to be some self-reverence. There's going to be some intention added in. I'm going to look at myself in my eyes, and then I'm going to actually use tapping, EFT. I'm going to tap it in. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to tap it in, and I'm going to say either an affirmation or ask myself a question, or just layer an intention in. So we're getting that mind, body, spirit happening all at once, and it's free. And it's easy, and it's 2 minutes.
It is free. It's at your fingertips. Keisha, do you love this added beauty thing for tapping? Keisha,
and can I just tell you that I created this system when I was 14 years old?
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I did. I was reading I had hippie parents, and I was reading self-help books, and I created this when I was a teenager. So that's one thing I just wanted to offer the audience, that is a powerful way to start feeling comfortable in your own skin right now.
I love that. Connect with your own eyes. Touch the skin in a loving way as opposed to, you know, always pulling at the mistakes.
So the beauty industry, big beauty tells us that we're not good enough, that we're going to get old, and we're not going to be viable or meaningful anymore if we don't look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
The green beauty industry, they tell us that if we don't use a certain type of product, that we are going to be at the mercy of possibly getting breast cancer or having toxic chemicals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So both industries use fear to sell.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's another way where you're an informed consumer and you really have a great outlet to get education, and you realize that self-judgment and fear are the two most terrible things that you can do to yourself.
Do to your face.
And do to your face.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's beautiful. I love that. Take a look at what's the judgments you have about yourself. What are the judgments you have about yourself? What do you think when you look in the mirror? And start with that. Start with that self-judgment.
Absolutely.
And so do you think that people should, because I agree that there's something definitely mindset wise when I take care of myself, when I look after myself. And for me, I'll just use myself as an example, and maybe other viewers can relate. But I always chose other attributes besides my looks. And it's going to be different for everybody. For some people, they lead with their looks because that's where their confidence was given as a child. And some, yeah, that was the case for you. So tell us a little bit about that, because for me, it was the opposite. It was like, I would never talk about my looks because that was not something that was, you know.
This is so big. Like, I don't know if anybody has seen the movie Misrepresentation.
I haven't seen it, no.
But so powerful about women in the media, and just a lot of deepening of this conversation of how a lot of women only think that their looks are their power. And that wasn't the case for you. It was the case for me. I had a memory recently of being 9 years old in the Girl Scouts and being weighed recently, either at a doctor. I don't remember that part, but I weighed over 100 pounds. And I can remember where I was sitting in a car in my Girl Scout uniform, actually worrying that I weighed over 100 pounds when I was 9 years old. And I mean, how many other people have a memory like that? And I was in the gifted and special program at school, and I made a conscious decision to not follow through with that and to dumb it down because I felt that I was not included with the kids and that I didn't want to be in that crowd. So yeah, so beauty is, for me, has been a blessing and a curse. I don't want to say that it's a curse by, any stretch of the imagination, but some of my first memories are of being told, you're beautiful. And then that was a good thing, And so for people that don't have that issue and that they have led with their smarts, possibly not feeling that that's one of their superpowers, that might hold them back from feeling like they can get on a Facebook Live. So everybody's story is a little bit different, but I think that the common thread is that all of us, I think I can speak for all of us when I say all of us have something that we feel is either a flaw or a not enoughness.
Yeah, for sure. And so do those flaws need attention?
I think they need a light shined on them. Yeah, because it's just a big fat lie.
Yeah, and absolutely.
If we're flawed. I mean, the lie is that we shouldn't be flawed, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that we have to be perfect.
Yes.
To be showing up, to be, making money, to be leading people, whatever the case might be, that we can't. But the first one are you to convince. You're the first one that has to be convinced that you can do it, as is, that you're perfect as is. And that's where the mindset has to shift around, and I hear a lot of times, like, when I ask clients and I ask people who are following me, what do you need to live that dream and be on that stage? And a lot of times they're like, I need a whole new wardrobe. I need a stylist. I need someone to get my face together. That they need all these things before they can start showing up in the way that they desire.
Well, I have something to invite your audience to consider.
Yeah.
Spend some time with either journaling or thinking about defining what that means to you. How would you like to see yourself look? And what does beauty mean to you? Just like in your interiors of your home or in your garden, everybody has a sort of a different idea of their aesthetic and what good to them. So, don't worry about what you see in the online marketing world about, all of this stuff. I think that you've taught me so much as well, as it's just so much of the energetics of online business is a lot about
energy.
Yes,
people are attracted to your energy.
Yeah, so it really, and I don't want people to think that, my blonde, blue-eyed version of beauty is what I'm trying to teach. This just happens to be what I'm working with.
Yeah.
And I really want to help other,
Yeah.
I want to help other women define that and what theirs. And maybe that's jeans and a blazer.
Right.
I wear yoga pants almost every single day and I can get away with it and I can go put a blazer and boots on it. That's what I do.
Right. Absolutely.
Certain things.
Guys, if you have questions, pop them in. Sarah's saying, I love the idea of looking in your eyes in the mirror. And it's about embracing the inner beauty, not the flaws, not the perceived perfection, but the authentic spirit. Love that.
And yes, thank you for saying that because, for me, this visit. So when I did your P2P program, I was so afraid to come out and say, this is what I thought. I mean, I get a little tear because, I didn't want this to be perceived as vanity, and I had to really get over some of those fears of like, what if this, what I got out of the program, a lot of what it was, and being able to be visible was that it's just a big fat lie that it's vain for us to want to look at ourselves or to feel beautiful. What?
It's so, even the word like being vain, it's like reserved for few, like the majority of people are not vain. Chances are if you're watching this, that's not you. It's not it's not your instinct, right? Normally.
If somebody is vain, the chances are they're searching to see themselves.
Right.
They just, those selfies, every time I see that, they're trying to see a version of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. 100%. Right. Like absolutely. I love that so much. Finding acceptance around vanity is kind of like finding acceptance around like it being okay to spend money on a vacation, money on nice clothes, money on a coach, money on things that you deserve that feel good. And people always ask me like, how do I know I should spend on this Like, how is it going to affect my bottom line? And is it going to be worth feeling abundant in the moment if, you know, that might be putting me in debt? And I always say it's about balance, right? It's about balance. So you don't need you may not need the everything to be top of the line, but maybe your skincare needs to be. Maybe not every single pair of shoes needs to be top of the line, or but maybe the thing you put on your face every day.
Well, you have to think about is that women, what most of us really don't know, and I'll just put myself in there with you guys. I'm your guide. I'm not your expert. I'm your guide. I'm learning along with you, and I'm just so willing to allow everything and judge nothing. You know, it's just sort of like individual for everybody. But most skincare is, you know, like processed food on the
McDonald's version of
McDonald's, or at the grocery store, the stuff that's in, you know, on the outside aisles, or however that, or in the center. I don't know where they put it, but you know, what we're doing usually is putting on processed stuff. However, having said that, if you added an intention and mirror work and tapping when you're putting it on,
right,
at the bottom dollar, it's gonna perform.
It's about how it makes you feel ultimately, right? And you know, really thinking about those. It's not going to be the same for everybody, right? For somebody, it's going to be I don't know. It's going to be a different thing. It's going to be a piece of clothing, a piece of jewelry, like something that makes you feel powerful, luxurious. It's not going to be the same thing for everybody. And for somebody, that's good. For other people, it's going to be being out in nature and being totally natural and being makeup free. And it's where your power lies. What makes you feel powerful?
There's no one way up
There's
the mountain.
no one way. But it is your job to figure out what that is. And what I want you to think about, guys, is not to, because we're often, you know, told around money mindset and even around beauty mindset to not want what we want. Don't want that because you can't afford it. Don't want that because that's not for you.
Or they don't believe it can even work. So why
bother? Mm-hmm. Why bother? And my thing is, you might not be able to buy, you know, the Rolls Royce of skincare today, but acknowledge that that's what you want. If that's what you really want. If you really want like beautiful designer made clothing, acknowledge that that's what you like and that's your preference. Instead of saying, I'll just find, one of my clients always says, the cheap and cheerful version. Don't settle, because that settling is not worth it. It's worth it to have one thing that makes you feel like $1 million than a closet full of crap.
Oh, yes. I mean, preach.
So, you know, think about what that is for you and cultivate that, because it changes over time and it changes, you know, as you change, it changes.
And I would add to that is that
make a vision board of that stuff that you want to have that makes you feel like the bomb.
Exactly. And
Judy's saying, oh boy, I can so relate. Judy's out in California too. She's like a rock star real estate agent, and she's like a detox. She's like detox specialist.
I like what Sarah Ann said. Beauty, self-care, like size. It matters.
It matters. Size matters. Come on, ladies.
I was going to add to what you just said is that pay attention to who you are listening to, just the same way about mindset. The beauty industry is full of scare tactics, fear, misinformation, and the beauty bloggers, and specifically, there's some great ones out there, but they've dominated the field of beauty in the last 5 years. And so some of us who actually are like hardcore skin experts, we're not being as visible because we're, you know, in the trenches doing this stuff, and we're not blogging about it and talking about it. And unfortunately, most of what I see online about skincare and beauty is just so very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Not that there can be a wrong, but it's just not the full story. And it's just, you know, be careful of who you're, just, you know, use your skin tuition when you hear something. When you hear something, does it feel heavy or does it feel light, you know, and take what works for you.
Amazing. And Amy has a group that you can join to build your skin tuition.
Yes.
That's called The Circle. And just tell us a little bit about what you do there.
So The Circle has been born a few months ago, and it's still pretty small. And I'm going to be, really excited to grow it. The Circle is based on women sitting in a circle, all having each other's backs. The circle is where everything is inclusive. The circle represents all of the seasons of our lives.
Oh yeah, Amy does a lot about seasons with skin and beauty, and it's really beautiful. It really is in alignment with how we are with our moon, and I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I feel it. Like, I feel the effects of the moon. I don't know a lot about it. I feel the effects of the seasons and of nature. And I think the more you know about how you work, how you work in that connection, the more empowering that is.
Absolutely. And the circle is really where we're having a new conversation about beauty. And, it's a free group. And I love to just bring up different things that people may not have thought about in terms of beauty. And I have a wonderful quote I would like to share with you. And it is, God is a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. Voltaire. And, God being your definition, of course, but it's just a safe container. So I would love for any of your audience or viewers to jump there, and we'll drop the link in.
We'll drop the link in for sure. So guys, think about that. Think about the things that are going to be worth the investment to make you feel like $1 million, because for sure, like, it's funny. We have, I always have Barbara in the background, funny girl, right? She's a very beautiful woman, but she led with funny girl, right? To be the funny one and not the beautiful one. And what's going to be like, the more beautiful you feel, I used to not care. I used to really not care. And I was just really actively putting myself out there. And then I was like, it matters to me. It started to be like, it was about being more thoughtful about myself. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was that I wasn't being thoughtful about myself.
Well, it's like a bank account, Aggie K.
The beauty bank account.
It's the beauty bank account. When we make deposits, we can make more withdrawals, and it's just gets more and more abundant.
Time out. The beauty bank account. So your self-esteem, there's also like a beauty department category of your self-esteem. How do you feel about how you look? How do you feel? How do you feel? This is just about you. This has nothing to do with the external. This is how it makes
you feel. So many women that I have worked with that come to me and say, I stopped looking in the mirror because it was never important to me, and it's not where I got my power, and it just didn't matter. I raised my kids, I did my career. And then one day I looked in the mirror and I was absolutely horrified. What happened and where did the time go? And I'm introducing a new program that's going to be called Time Light. And it's all about having lightness with time and not letting the past affect our face so much and our spirit and our mind. So,
I do believe there's like mindset. There's got to be mindset for aging. Like, there's some people who in their 90s are looking absolutely friggin' phenomenal.
So I'm going to be 50 in less than a year and a half. And I don't have any Botox. I do not have any filler. I don't have any laser. I don't have any of it. And if you were to see my skin up close, I mean,
oh my God.
Just saying, what I do works.
Yes, please. I'll have some of that.
And when I want some Botox, I'll be marching myself over to get some. So there's no judgment. Right. I have just decided to see how far I can take it with my beauty mindset.
Let's all see how far we can take it. Save ourselves a couple $1,000s on the Botox.
Yeah, and also, but there's no judgment there. And I actually did it for years, so I probably did a lot of preventative on my face. But now I just have bangs, so.
Bangs do the job.
But you know,
but do the stuff like get the lighting that makes you look good. Get the food that makes you feel good. Get the stuff that makes you feel good.
And find what that is. Yes.
Find out what that is. Find out what that is, and reconnect with the face, because it's the window. It's not it's a cliche, but it's the window to how you feel about yourself. And I feel like a psychotic urge to go do that as soon as we hang up. I need to go connect with myself.
Yeah, well, I invite you to do it every single morning and every single evening, even if you have kids or a busy business. It's 2 minutes. You're already doing it. Is there a way you can stay present?
Mamapreneurs who are watching this, what a beautiful exercise for your kids to look in and be like, that is what I like.
Yeah, and
when you look at that, then that's what's reflected to you.
And I have another challenge for everybody, mompreneurs and women that are done raising kids and women haven't started raising kids or all in between, teenagers especially, is if there's a place in your skin or body that you're kind of going, oh.
Yeah, I got mine.
I've got my neck. I've started to see kind of.
Mine's right here.
Yeah, so now every morning I do I give it extra exercises, and then I have I call it a love campaign. I'll stop myself in the middle of the day and just say, God, thank you. I get to swivel my neck. I mean, it's kind of trite, but it works, and it's a love campaign.
Love campaign to your face, I am certain is going to increase your visibility. Because God, if you're loving on your face, isn't everyone going to love on your face then? It's like a chain reaction. I'm loving on my jowls or whatever this part of the face is.
So I can totally help you with that by giving you a little massage tool and an exercise to do every single morning. I have a little facial cup that you just...
Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's... jowls be gone. So then that's the other piece. This is, for a while, I was like, okay, with my program, is it all about just accepting exactly what you look like?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's things that you
can do.
There's things that we can, just the way we have goals and targets in our money.
Yeah, you can't just think about money. You need to go take action on making money.
Thank you. So
you can't just think about beauty. Go take action on things that make you feel beautiful.
Exactly. And back to it, we have to go into the past to see where we've been. Go into the present to see where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then step into that future self. Imagine her, see who she is, and then
Keisha said
to get there.
Keisha said, yes, please. I'm going to practice this with my daughters today.
Oh!
Yes, please. Report back on that. Let us know how they like it and how it goes.
So when we heal ourselves and when we can heal each other and when we can feel visible, then we can do our great work for the world. And then we're going to save this world, women. International Women's Day times,
Okay, this is a really important part of Amy's work. And it's important to remember this, guys, that if you don't feel worthy of showing up, like worthy of looking in the eyes of that person in the mirror, it's going to be really hard to share your work. The work that you need to do, the work that's going to change, the planet, the art, the coaching, the selling, whatever it is that you're doing, it's hard to get up on that stage. The world is our platform with social media, and it's hard to get on that stage if we're not loving what we see.
And I felt completely fine about what I looked like last year when I started your program, but I wasn't comfortable with who I was. So it is when we can work on what we look like and add in, some of the things that we've talked about and really start accepting who we are and what that message is in conjunction with all the other tools that I can share and that we're sharing today, what you look like becomes irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. Because the glow from the inside is so intense.
It does happen to look amazing. But the focus isn't there anymore.
Right. People say, people say this about incredible Michelle Obama, incredible leaders, incredible people in the media. They say that she has a glow. She has this like vibrancy, this, attraction. And we think it's physical, but guys, we're just like molecules vibrating. It's vibration, right? It's like so much has to do with the energy around it.
So Time Light, I'm still developing how to talk about it, but consider this. Every wrinkle you see on your face is the result of something from the past. And a lot of times our expression lines, especially the 11s or any scowly kind of stuff, is the result of past judgments and past worries. So when we can let go of some of these judgments, and we can forgive ourselves, forgive others, and really kind of let go of the past, we become lighter in our face, we vibrate higher. And that's just what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so, it's really interesting too. I think what you're saying, like if you're to look at the map of your face, right? To look at the map of what you look like and what do you see? What do you notice? And, what's showing up from your life there, I think is a really interesting journey, guys. Do that exercise and see what it is that's showing up for you. Fascinating.
And that tells the story of your life.
Whoa. Heavy duty. We got work to do, people.
It's not just beauty, but you can see why it really took me some work to get visible, because being in the beauty industry, it's like, the traditional model I had to walk away from of, you've got wrinkles. Okay, well, we're just going to throw some acid on that. Let's just burn those suckers right off, or we got to do this, we got to do that. And it was like, there's something was just so very wrong about that to me. I want to stay away from the word wrong, but there was something that didn't resonate for me.
Right. So I had a thought and then it just escapes me. But leading with your energy and with your, taking a look at this piece and not ignoring it, because it could be a big piece to your visibility, to your attraction puzzle. It's come up for like tons of people that it's the last thing on the list. That it's sometimes, that someone will sooner go get, a massage or hair, but they'll just let the face go. They won't pay attention to that. And it's important.
There's another thing is that face stuff is pampering in society, in our culture. It's pampering. We're going to pamper ourselves, and that's a kind of a shameful, that has a shameful energy to it.
Right. Yes. Yes.
That has a shameful energy to it. We don't pamper our car with an oil change. We don't pamper our house with a fresh coat of paint. And it's complete and total bullshit.
So it's indulgent to look after yourself.
So the more that you know about how things are working, the better that they work. That's the intention piece. So I wanted to share something with your audience before we wrap up. And that is that there's a very important hormone called oxytocin that you may be aware of. Mm-hmm. That's a calming hormone.
Isn't that the breastfeeding?
That's the one that we get breastfeeding. Yeah. You and I are just making all sorts of oxytocin. It's the warm fuzzy. It's the hug. Woo! It's the hug from your girlfriend. It's the walk with your girlfriend. It's the massage, and it's the facial. So really, when we are getting facials or we're doing anything for ourselves, massages, anything that's been relegated to the world of pampering, what we're actually doing is creating a storehouse of oxytocin, which helps us be a better mother, a better wife, a better business person, and helps us show up and do our great work in the world.
That's not a category for anyone, then
science, people.
Storehouse of oxytocin, which is just feel-good hormone. It's just makes you feel good.
Anytime we're in a safe, nurturing environment, which doesn't happen to feel like Facebook Live for some people, but you and I are so connected that I'm just feel myself flooding with it. I feel like just you mirroring to me, back to the mirror, because life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. You just reflecting back to me that these ideas are valid, and getting these reactions in the comments. I am flooded with feel good. So,
and what makes you more money, guys? Feeling good.
And receiving. Getting a facial is a receiving exercise. Putting a skincare on, you're receiving.
Yeah. So let's not buy into this like taking care of yourself is indulgent and it has to look this way and, you know, all this other crap. Like, you know, it's the same thing about money. With like being scared to do stuff for beauty, also, if you're a work from home person, nobody touches you ever. You need to be touched by yourself at least.
If people want to go to my website, I'm going to be doing a big website.
Sorry, that is hugely important. I feel very often I'm like affection deprived, and I have, you know, people that, you know, little people that touch me and a, you know, partner, but we need a lot of that to feel good, generally speaking.
And we can touch ourselves on my site and get there before I do my update because I'm changing the opt-in. There's 2 videos that you put your email in, you get the videos. And there's the tapping video and there's a lymphatic massage drainage one. That's one. Those are, if you want, if that is helpful. Otherwise, you know, the tapping is just this. It's free. But that's a very big point. And that's why I really want my clients to touch themselves at least. Of course, someone else touching you is ideal. So what is possible? Let's just be the invitation and the question to the audience. What could they do to get touched once a month at least?
Yeah.
Massage MV has some great programs in some of the more, you know, urban areas. A massage, a facial. What else? A trade with a husband.
Mani pedi even, you know, they massage your hands, hugs, you know, get touch, you know, happening. You need that oxytocin. This is an important point. The oxytocin hormone feels really good. And a lot of our job about making money and being successful is about feeling more and more and more good. How much good can you handle? To allow.
Allowing, and then that back into the vanity piece, because once people start allowing, it's like, oh,
it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Yeah.
That makes me vain. I don't want people to think I'm this, or
I don't want people to think I'm vain because I care about how I, you know, look.
Oh, you know, And so the monkey mind. Yeah. Allowing. How much can you allow? And all of these things are allowed.
Mindset wise, write out for yourself, you know, what you think about people who are vain, who are into themselves, who check themselves out, who say, I look good, who take this selfie. Because you know, the people who are making it are out there in their photos, they're showing up, they're, you know, all about themselves. And what do you think about that? What kind of judgments, what kind of thoughts pop up for you about that? Good indication of why you might not be doing it for yourself.
And notice that without judging yourself for judging. But
right.
And go, just where am I?
Just observe and be like, oh, okay, well, if I know that that's a block to feeling good about myself, and I know that the block to feeling good about myself causes me to make less money, then I'm going to take care of that.
You really helped me in P2 in your Permission to Prosper program with realizing that you're going to receive more judgment the more successful that you get. And actually, it's a tool for receiving more money. And I saw something that was very interesting around Valentine's Day. Kim Kardashian, I saw it on the news. She wrote out Valentine's to her haters.
Nice.
I was like, oh,
that's smart.
She knows. It's like the more she's willing to receive judgment, the more money she makes. So it's like,
oh, chew on that one, people. Yoinks. That's it. Let's end off on that note because that's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty damn good. Chew on that one. Are you willing to receive it because you don't take it in? You don't let it go in here. You observe, you notice, you see what's relevant about it for you, what's not, but you don't let it all, you don't let it shift your self-worth. Okay, that needs to be the unshakable rock. Amy, thank you so much for hopping on with us today. That was really insightful, guys. This is not to be underestimated, and I think a lot of times in mindset it is. How you feel about yourself and how you feel about how you look matters. Keisha said, "Ooh, that's good." Yes, it is, right? Such a good one. You can find Amy at loveamyskin.com. We're going to post the link to her circle, and she's going to help me out with my jowls. So you better reach out to her and see what she can do for you.
Okay, thanks everyone for
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Amy, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.